Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 15 of This Old Knit. I am your host, Nina, otherwise known as Ine on Ravelry and Pinterest. I am home today, so it's during the week, and I apologize for not recording this weekend, but I was kind of fighting off a cold. As I said last episode, I had a pretty busy week last week, so I worked quite a lot of hours, and I think it just got me a little bit run down, and so I kind of had stuffy nose, scratchy throat, could have been allergies, but I felt like it was a little bit more than that, so I just chose to rest instead. So I think Saturday I took 2 naps, and even Sunday I was in bed by like 8 o'clock, so anyway, I just didn't find the time to record, so I figured I would either do it sometime during this week or I just wouldn't have a podcast this week. Joshua, my baby, went in for his 12-month appointment last week, and he got 4 shots, 2 of which were live virus shots. So he had kind of a stuffy nose and a low-grade fever as well. So I don't know if maybe he didn't pick something up from the doctor's office, and then kind of I got it as well, but I feel fine. It never developed into anything more than that, so that's good. I don't know why I'm looking all over the place right now, partly because my right contact is a little bit weird. My glasses have been giving me issues on like the nose pad portion. They're misaligned for one thing, and then they actually made like my skin super red, and I don't know if it shows right now, but I had probably 3 weeks that I could not wear them at all. I was putting like it's sort of like a cream mixture, so I think it had like shea butter and cocoa bean butter or some weird stuff like that on it, but it did help. It eventually, like, the skin peeled and it's fine now, but I'm afraid to wear them now. I don't know if I'm going to get that same problem again, so if anybody has any suggestions for things I could do to keep like the nose pads on glasses from irritating your nose, I would love to hear it. I need to take them into my optometrist and definitely get them adjusted, because they were at weird angles. So like one was here and one was way up here. So that comes from Joshua just yanking my glasses off of my face all the time. He's at that phase where he thinks that's really funny. So they need to be readjusted, but also I'm wondering if like the stuff that they're made of is maybe irritating my skin, so I don't know. Anyway, I'm wearing my contacts, which I don't like to do during allergy season, but neither here nor there. So I am home today. It is Tuesday, June 9th? Yeah, I think June 9th. My husband went in for his foot and got some x-rays today, and we didn't want to have to wrangle both the children while he's trying to get x-rays, so it just made more sense for me to be at home. So I have maybe like 1 or 2 calls I have to jump on this afternoon, but otherwise it's nice to just have a day to kind of just recuperate, rest, take it easy. So nothing really planned for today other than those calls. I think Megwin's gonna come up now, or maybe Joshua is back at the doorway, so he knows I'm upstairs. He's awake right now. He was eating a little snack, but he's clearly finished with that, so we'll see if he gets distracted and goes off somewhere to play, or if he gets too sad. I'll record a little bit and then I'll come back and record more later. I don't actually have a ton to share as far as knitting, because as I said, I worked a lot of hours last week. Probably 12-hour days at least every day. So then I've got about a 30-minute commute each way, 30 to 35 minutes depending on traffic, for work. So by the time I got home, I basically was eating dinner, brushing my teeth, and going to bed. I got to do story time still with Megwin most of those nights, but one night I was home pretty late. I don't think I left work till 9 o'clock. So she tried to wait me out, but she couldn't. She fell asleep on my chair. So anyway, lots of blah, 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 blah about my work that I don't know if you guys even care about. So the only thing I've really knit on this week is my sock. I showed last week that I finished my first sock. The pattern is Hermione's Everyday Socks, which I can recommend. It's a very nice, basic, textured pattern. Although, despite it being basic, I don't think I've ever had so many issues with socks since I started knitting socks. Probably because I let the fact that the pattern was very easy lull me into a false sense of security. But, I told you about casting on too tightly, so I had to cut the cast on and bind off instead. So that was the first sock. I think I made the leg too short, so I had to rip it back a little bit. I did the heel flap, like continuing with the yarn. I didn't really like that. I didn't want to break up the stripe sequence, so I ripped that back and I knit from the outside of the ball. So the stripe sequence isn't broken, which is nice. But the second sock is going much, much quicker because I've worked out all the kinks, right? So I cast on for this one with a bigger needle than what I worked the rest of it with. So I cast on with a 2.75 millimeter needle. I knit one row with that in pattern, and then I switched to my size 1, which is a 2.5 millimeter needle, 2.5 mil. And that's what I've worked the rest of the sock with. When I was winding off some of the yarn to start at the same point, more or less, on the stripe sequence, I actually saved that little ball of yarn, and it was just enough to do the heel flap, which was perfect. So I just used that little ball for my heel flap. I had this much left of that ball. So not very much. It's really like maybe 15 inches of yarn, so it worked out perfectly. And then just kept going with the yarn that was already attached from the main part of the ball through the foot. I have 5 more rows before I start the toe decreases. I was hoping to have these ready to go to show you that I had a finished pair and then you could stop seeing them every episode, but I didn't know if I'd have time to podcast later today, so I wanted to just go ahead and record the episode. So next time I definitely will have them finished. I should be able to finish them today. And then I'll show you the finished pair, and that'll be the last time that you will see this same project. But I warned you at the beginning of my podcast, if you've watched since the first episode, that I'm not a super churning out finished objects kind of knitter. I just don't have a lot of knitting time. I'm a pretty fast knitter, but I just don't have a ton of knitting time. So I imagine that'll change as the kids get older and they get into activities and I take stuff with me. Poor Joshua. He's like, he really wants me to come down. Not sure what my husband's doing. He was getting some lunch for Megwin. And we're waiting to hear back about some stuff, some lab results and stuff that he had taken at the same time. So fingers crossed on that one. So anyway, that's those socks. I don't think I'm going to have a ton of yarn left. Megwin had asked me to knit a pair of socks for her, or she's now said a pair of mittens. I don't know if I'm going to have enough for either, but I'm thinking, here's the ball that I've got left. It's very smudgy. I think I might have enough to do mittens for her if I stripe them. So I think this would be pretty with a gray. I talked to my husband about it and he agreed probably gray was the best choice. I thought either gray, black, or white, so you don't detract from the rainbow. And white I don't think would work for mittens for her because she just gets her mittens filthy. Black, I don't know if I have anything this same weight. And gray, I do have something. I think it's Mad Tosh sock. So I'll probably use that. And then she'll have some nice rainbow stripey mittens for fall. So anyway, that's that project. I think I forgot to show last week that I did work some on my adult spring garden tea. I can't remember if I showed it or not. I feel like I'm ready to start the very bottom patterning on it. I think it's long enough at this point. I just haven't taken the time to put it on I usually get a pair of my interchangeables. Like I get one of the longer cables out. Oh, okay. Sorry. One of my DPNs from my blanket is stuck in there and it's made holes in my sweater. That'll block right out. So usually what I do is I get like the long 60-inch cable because I have one from the 2 blankets that I knit that I mentioned last time. I put a set of tips that matches the size I'm working, and then I just slip them on there like it's magic loop, and then I'd have the long loop hanging out, and then I could try it on and see how it's going to fit. But I do feel like it is going to be long enough. I want it to be at least as long as the top that I have on right now, so I'll stand up. So I know this color does nothing for me and I don't care. So here's where it is right now. I guess it's not as long as the top I have on right now. Maybe I need another couple inches. Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, Megs, be careful. You're good.
But he's crying.
Yeah, I know. Okay, I'll be back. Okay. Joshua has wandered off to play. I was worried that it wasn't recording, but it is. I double checked that it ended where I said. I did not work any on my blanket, so I don't have that to show you. Yeah. Okay. So, not very interesting on the knitting front today. Sorry for the crinkling. Last time that I recorded, I also showed some mini skeins from No Makers, but that whole portion got cut out of my video. I don't know what happened. I guess good because it hadn't been revealed yet. So not everybody had their packages, but now pretty much everyone does, so I will show them this time. I don't have the little card with me now though, so I don't know what they all are. It was a backpacking themed package. So the part that did show last time was there was a little case that I have been using for my camera in addition to the knitted case.
Soapy water.
Cool. Soapy water sounds awesome.
I'm rinsing my hands in it.
So I'm excited that that'll give me something where I can clip it to like the ergo or a pocket or something like that when we're hiking, because I don't have that today, so I just kind of have to hold it in my hand or put the wrist loop around. But when I do that, sometimes the knitted cover that I have made slips off of it, so I don't like to do that. So I'll just show them, but I don't remember what they all are. So there's this one. I like this one a lot. I think this is something Gnome of the Redwoods, maybe. There's this one, just greens and blues. There's this one, which is fireflies. And it's sparkle base. You need to go get a shirt on. Go get a shirt on if you want to be on the podcast. You need to go put a shirt on. Yeah?
I'm gonna wash it.
Okay, just don't bump it. Remember what happened last time you bumped. Okay.
I like that one, I like that one, and I like that one. And I like that pretty one. Oh, I like this sparkly too.
Okay. Why don't you just go get a shirt on so you don't have to remember. This one I think is called Nomi Nights or something like that. It's a really thick base. I'm not sure which base this one is. I'll put it in the show notes. It's from the Random Mini Skein Club from No Makers. So this one's a little bit more bouncy of a base. And then I know this one is My Fair Nomi. It has alpaca in it. I really like this one a lot. I haven't bought any of this base. That's part of the reason that I like doing the mini skein club, is that you get to have a little bit of each of her kind of bases, and you can see some of the colors and decide if you want to do bigger skeins. The other thing I really like about the No Makers shop in general is that she, whenever she comes out with a new colorway, she makes like a little mini skein bundle, so you can just get a little bit and try it out and see if you like it. Which is nice, because often what you see on your monitor isn't what it really looks like in real life, and actually holding the thing helps you decide if it's what you think it is. The strawberries and cream one that I've shown in previous podcasts that I got a full skein of, I actually got that as a mini skein bundle for the Valentine's Day bundle, and I liked it so much that I bought it. Same for the cookies one, which is the other Tweety one I have. I got a cookies and milk from Christmas. It was a bundle, and it came with a gnome cookie cutter, and I ended up getting a full skein there. So yeah, it's nice. I like her shop and I recommend it. And I'm enjoying the mini skein club so far. So,
whoopsie.
Okay, get a towel. You'll have to probably go downstairs to get a towel, or get a blanket. She spilled some water. Go get the baby blanket that's in the yellow room, and you can put that on it. Okay. So that's really the only acquisition I have. I didn't buy anything. I'm expecting to get a spindle, so maybe I'll have that for next episode. I can't remember when he said it was supposed to come. I got I think is it called a steampunk drop spindle? He makes all the drop spindles to order. And as I've said, I have, all of mine are very heavy. So this one is like 1.5 ounces. So it's half the weight of any of the spindles that I have. And it's like one of those cogs, it almost looks like. So it's got a lot of notches all around the whorl, which is nice. So then you can use the hook in whatever configuration you want. Lena from A Wee Bit Nitty podcast recommended it, and she had one and she really liked it, and it's very reasonably priced as well, so I figured why not. I'll just order one and see what I think. So that should be coming soon, and hopefully that will let me spin some of the merino that I have, because I do have, I think, 3 different things of merino, and I've had trouble with getting them to spin properly with how heavy mine are. My fiber keeps drifting apart. I just can't get my spindle going fast enough to draft it and get the twist into it before it's kind of coming apart. So I know that that's because the spindle is too heavy from what I've read, so we'll try with a lighter one. So I figured, since I'm a little bit light on the knitting content, I would share a book, because I've meant to share this for the past couple things. So this is one of my birthday gifts, and it's called Sewing for Boys. And Coddington in our group actually said she knows one of the authors of this book. So that was kind of cool. Small world. I like that it comes with paper patterns, because I don't really like PDF patterns. I kind of don't get them. I feel like you got to do a whole putting of puzzles together before you can even start trying to sew. Sewing is complicated enough, putting that aside. So it has a pocket to hold all those pieces. And yeah, it's got tons of really basic stuff. It doesn't necessarily even have to be for boys. I think that
grass can take toothpaste container clean on the outside.
Yep, that's a good idea. Keep your toothpaste container clean on the outside.
Cleaning it with watery soapy hands.
Okay. I think Autumn said that she's made the pajamas in here for both of her children and that they turned out very nicely. But there's a little shirt with some built-in pockets. A little romper. This one's more of a, like a, what do you call those? The Henley type shirt, but this one's made of linen. There's a fishing hat and some pants. What else? Short sleeve raglan tee, some shorts. Some board shorts. A little suit. A hoodie, which looks like it could be a raincoat if you made it with the right fabric. And there's the pajamas, which they do look very nice. There's also a little play mat. There's a little to-go artist kit and a to-go toy kit. I've thought about making these for a while for my husband to take with him when he's going to like appointments and stuff, because he has to take both the kids. So just having something with him to keep them busy. Some belts with D-rings. I mean, that's not a hard thing to do, but just having the sizing for belts are nice. This one I was interested in just for project bags. It's called the Wrap Knot Waist Knot bag, but it looks like it has a drawstring tie on the top and then just a basic sack. Or the fishing hat. And that's it. But I think the sizing is actually pretty generous as far as like how far the sizing goes. So it goes from like baby all the way up to like 10 years old, I think. So yeah, it's a nice pattern. Oh, 7-year-old boys. And on the back there's a jacket, which I didn't show, but that one's nice. So yeah, I think I got it through Amazon, but I'm sure probably craft stores and stuff carry it as well. I thought it was a nice book with a lot of basic patterns that you could do stuff with, and they don't take a ton of material. And I feel like a lot of things, at least what I've seen, are more geared towards girls. They have a lot more variety of clothing they can wear. Poor boys, they don't get to have all the fun. So that's that book. What else? We're hoping to go camping in a couple of weeks. So hopefully I'll remember to do some photography this time. Maybe some short videos. I'm really hoping that the weather will cooperate. The last 2 camping trips we've had have been less than successful. One, the kids got really sick, so we had to come home a day early, and the second one, it rained all weekend, so we didn't really get to be out of the tent very much. We did get to take the hike, but I didn't take any pictures or anything. So this next time I will make sure I do, so I can share that with everybody if we go. And yeah, I don't have a ton more to share. I've been thinking about casting some stuff on. I'm just trying to finish those socks. So I think next I might make a Zilver, which is a shawl. Again, Coddington is making one, so I proposed to knit along, but I think she's almost done with hers, so that might not work out. And I also have been really looking at the Misty Morning top, which is one that, I'm looking to see if I have that yarn with me over here. I don't think I do for what I was going to use. But Danny from the Little Bobbins Knits podcast just made one, and hers is beautiful. She has like a cream lace panel on the back, and then it's pink. It's like kind of a dusty rose. I was thinking maybe a gray, like a really light gray lace panel, and then I have kind of a seafoam green, and it's in kind of cotton, might be acrylic. It's called Cool Cotton DK. It's some yarn that Mom gave me for making something for Megwin, but there was so much of that green yarn. It's enough for me to make a sweater for myself. I've actually made a sweater for Megwin out of the light gray from, she was much younger. I think she was maybe 2 when I made it for her. It's on my project page. It turned out super cute, and I put little monkey buttons on it. But I still have several skeins of that as well, so I thought this might be a nice project to use them up. I don't usually use warm weather yarns that often, so that would be a nice summery top. It looks a little bit dressy, so I could probably wear it at work. Yeah, so I like it. So, still want to do petrichor. Still haven't had time to swatch for it, but that's on my list to do as well. There's a bunch of really great craft alongs and knit alongs going on right now. So actually knitting, Michelle has the Pal Cow, which is the podcaster along knit along. So anything that is either yarn, pattern, or bag from a podcaster, if you use that, and then you link to it in your, finished object page, you get an entry into her thing. And I think that lasts all summer, so it's a 3-month knit along. Yarnder Woman, who's Melinda, just put something up that's called the Opposites Craft Along. So it's doing something that's kind of the opposite of what is going on in your hemisphere. So if like you're in the northern hemisphere, you're in summer right now, so it'd be knitting something for winter. Or if you're in the southern hemisphere, you're in winter, so you'd be knitting something for summer. So that might work out for petrichor. Dan and Kay from Bakery Bears are doing a Brit along, so anything that's either from a British yarn dyer or fiber dyer or British designer. I think it's UK. I shouldn't just say British, but the UK. You can do those and get an entry, and I think that's all the knit alongs that I can think of right now that are actively going on in groups that I was thinking about participating in. So I need to just sit down and have a think of what I want to do next. The Spring Garden Tea actually will count for the podcaster knit along because Alana Dacos has the Never Not Knitting podcast, which I've listened to for years at this point. So maybe that'll motivate me to finish that one. I have one mitt done of my, is it spring foliage mitts? I've shown them before. They're like a really pale yellow, so I could make the other one of those and finish that up. So I'm thinking I might do that for the Pal Cal. And then if I have time after I do those two, I'll do using some of my Volan Vine yarn, which I've been wanting to do to also qualify for the Pal Cal. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll knit whatever I want to knit. That's what it's all about, right? It's about enjoying yourself. So, I will sign off. This will probably be a really short episode, but I'm going to go and have some lunch, and hopefully we'll hear back on all the tests today. There's a cardinal that keeps hanging out in our cedar tree. I took a little bit of footage of him, so hopefully I'll just put that on the end of the podcast so you can see it. He was just tweeting away up there. But anyway, everybody have a good week. I will be back to my normal schedule this weekend, and hopefully I'll have more to share with you then. I'll have at least one other sock done, and then we'll be done with the rainbow yarn. And I'll cast on something else as well. So I am going to also go wind these so that they can inspire me, and maybe I'll have a new pair of socks on the needles, because I always have at least one pair of socks going, just because they're a great grab and go project, and they're fun. So, okay, have a great week. Happy crafting, everyone, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.